Why don't you like commenting your HTML?
HTML.
Yeah, CSS. And then right. Can do something like this. I want the how do you call it? That's a random. Where do you have the how do you call it? This one. Do you follow what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So can you see how I'm reading your how do you call it? HTML?
Yes.
Who's on this one? This one is yours, right?
Yes.
Where did you download for that? So you see the problem here. This is your media queries, right?
Yes.
Writing the CSS is not for the fun of it, right? It is so that when another person picks your code, right, they will also be able to understand what is going on without they having to call you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Alright. It's not up to you to hold my hand through your code. What if you are not around or you are busy? So the least you could have done was that maybe you have a, how do you call it, a footer section like that. Then you style your content based on it. That is what I'm saying. So to be able to see to know exactly what you are talking about, right, will be very difficult without you having to consult you. Right. So how do I know where you are styling this one from? So in my opinion, right, a situation like that, this is what I have to do. So let's just close this one. What I want to achieve is to have let us ignore this one and this one, and let us concentrate on this one. To have at least a decent looking form here for the client to submit their name. Okay. Let's put this one. create our CSS. CSS folder. Create our styles. You understand?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
This is what we have. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that the way you structure your CSS, right, will make it easier for you to debug later. What do I mean by that? If I'm dealing with this one and I have forms in it, right? The one that will be a general styling will be my container. Why? Question? Answer.
So that I can reuse it.
Right. That'll be the only one that I'll reuse it in it. But there might be other one, but the main one I'll reuse it is the container. Right. So first of all, let's just reset our browser. And margin is 0. Pattern 0. Box size and border. What's the name of this? What's the meaning of this? Hmm? So,
It means like to remove the defaults, margins and banners of the elements.
and should not add to the width. It should not add to the width, especially like padding. Shouldn't add the extra padding to the width of the object. Should keep the padding inside the width. This is the last time I'll talk about it. Alright. So we have the container. Let's do your width. 1200 pixel max width. See, 96%. The reason why I'm doing 96% is that at least I want this to cover, not like 100%. Most times you can see people write 100%, but for me I would like to keep it 96%. So it won't be like the extra space here around it. Okay, again, I put it right in the middle. How? Alright. Let's use the back. Alright. Assuming this is what we are dealing with. Alright. Okay. Let's say have on page 1. And let's title send us a message. Alright. Ready for it? So first of all, let us change our font size. The reason I want to do this is for you to see something. That sometimes when you do your research, you should have a little note on the side that you refer to, so that it will speed up your production for you. I mean your coding for you, right? So I've already copied this link here that I keep when I want to deal with things like font. So it's not now that I'm going back to the, how do you call it, the Google website. Do you understand? Yes. So when I come in here, then I copy this one. I say CML. Yeah, that's it. You understand?
If you had the front family inside where you added a box at, won't you work?
Yeah, it will work. It means that, but I'll usually keep it at HTML. So see, it will affect this one too. This one. Yeah. Alright. So this one has a class of title, right? So I can say that I come in here and say general. I don't do these things for the fun of it, no. It is so that when I come in next time or when somebody picks my code, they will understand what is happening. You get what I'm trying to say? Alright. So then I can say that title font size 1.2 gram. So in this particular situation, these are all general styling I'll have for things like text and then the container situation, right? So when I get to this particular section, then I'll do something like, let's say, what, newsletter, right? So newsletter, let's take out forms. So let's say news letter. You understand? So I come here to news letter. Background. Let's say FTPH. What does it mean?
It means half of the
Save it. Okay. Alright. So I come to news letter form. You see how it's working. So when I come to newsletter and I'm looking for how they style this form, I can just go to here and understand it through how I've structured my CSS. Right? I don't just throw around classes and just use them. It becomes difficult to know where you are getting what styling from where. You understand? Alright. So in this case, I'll say newsletter.form wrapper, then probably for specificity, whatever it is. Form. I'll say let's do blue. This works. So I can do a width of 540 pixels max. Margin of error at all. Match with 100%. Alright. I want to make this one green and this one green. No. But assuming if I do this one green, I'll do this one black. Let us talk about it. Let's continue down on it. Alright. Let's take out the colors. This one black. Our fonts, our button is not lying next to each other. Okay, so just do something like let's put this in our file. Why am I putting this in our file?
So that comes totally separately from the input.
Alright. I want to put it next to each other like this.
So you can display flags.
Alright. So this is unnecessary. Okay. This is unnecessary. So I can do this letter on upper font white. How do we get the button to assuming that I want to keep this one at green safe. Let's install the button. Let's see. Background green. Alright. I must find all ways and means to make this thing very legible for the clients to see it. All I do, let's say I'll try to make the font red. Alright. Can you see? Can you see the text? Huh? What do we do? Come up with something.
The color.
Which is what? We can do background white color. Yeah. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying go and do this thing that you can't even make head and tail of. Do it such that the person can see and have a feel of what is happening. It's not for you to see it. No, the fact that you can see it doesn't mean that everybody can see it. So what we can probably do is to put this in the middle of this particular container. You understand? This whole thing in the middle of this one. You can say something like where is it? 50 is too small. Alright. So then I can come in here and I say display flex. I don't know. Oh, fine. Good, we have this problem. Good. How do I rearrange this?
You should rather display flex on the container.
I want to do flex this way.
The new flex.
I can do
Flex.
flex. How difficult are these things? So when you let's the title is this one. In my situation, I'll make this one white. Right. Let's just say where is it? This one, right? It's from style. Want to shift. Matter of fact, let us have a default style for the input. So inputs, I'll do this. I'll say out line border. And then I'll come in here and then I'll say text. Don't go and sit in your house and then just do any form like that because you've been able to start from everybody should submit. No, it's not for you, but you are doing it such that when another person sits behind the computer, now let's change this one. The color to be white. Right. So be careful about how you are using your colors, or whatever you think that you are doing. Don't just go straight to pick a color and you now before you see it you have to no. Understood. Go back and then go and fix your form. If it is form that's the form that you put in extra effort, don't just do anything again because yeah. You don't understand what I'm saying. You saw I
Yes.
And this is how many minutes? So doesn't mean you're able to even do this, right? The point is that the person can see it and you've taken in extra efforts to do all of these things. Right? It's for me to see it and be able to type with ease. That's what is important. So that you've been able to write out the code. Nobody cares about your code. That's something you put in your head. Nobody cares. It is only when it matters most that people sort of like look at it. But at the end of the day, you are the one who understands the best practices that you've done. But while you are doing that, at the end of the day, what you should put at the back of your mind is that nobody cares about your code. So go back, fix this one. If you have the freedom of having to do something, don't make it too complex for yourself. Right? If it is this that you are having troubles implementing, take it out. If it is this idea, take it out, keep just this one. And you just display it nicely for the person to do whatever. Yes. As that sometimes front-end developers do not like designers. Because something very simple that they will have to do, like both for your friends saying linear gradient, or their fra, and then it becomes something very simple. You have to like code out before you're able to achieve that. So the difference between you and a front end a designer is that you have knowledge of what design will work best in terms of how do you call it, web design, right? So that's how come they always encourage people who will have skill in HTML, CSS. That look, if you've been able to learn HTML, CSS, you have a very upper hand if over all of them if you are able to learn at least UI UX design. Right? You know what works, you know how to pick your colors, you know which. See, this one is not legible at all. Okay. So that is just about it. So go and fix this bit. If I were to be you and I'm still studying how to do front end, right? For me, I'll keep this layout. But then I'll try and do my best to be able to let these things show well. Do you understand? Because in essence, it's not even difficult to implement something like this. It's just a 3-column layout with 2 images and some few text with a form in the middle. But if you want to be lazy, that's fine. Take these ones out. You know, keep your forms. But if you are presenting whatever it is, make sure that it makes sense. Because the person is paying you to do the work for them. Think of it. I always keep this, that you should keep this in mind. Think of it as somebody is paying you to do the work. Assuming that is the case, will you be happy about something like this? What currently is happening is that the COVID-19, right, Corona, right, it is creating a situation where people are staying at home to practically do nothing, right? And those who are wise, or not wise, those who are even having certain resistance in having to learn anything, right? Now, they don't have a choice than to do it, because when you are in the house, you automatically bored, right? Good. So because of that, people are now doing very crazy things such that they are increasing the bar for entry level into even as a junior developer self. Right? There was this time. How do you call it? Let me show you this one. YouTube CSS battle. I think I've showed it to you before.
Yeah.
Right? But now a lot of people are doing it. They're doing almost like I've seen 4, 5, 6 videos similar to that. Right? See, they're doing it.
I think so we can see this. I'm just going to change this to red temporarily.
Crazy.
Of course, I don't see it anywhere.
Layout and all of that. And this will get to a point where, as a junior developer, you are supposed to know this. And initially, that won't be the requirement, but now it will be because of coronavirus. Because everybody is studying now. Everybody. And after looking at some of these videos, I realized that, like, look, the actual programming is not JavaScript. It is your HTML, CSS. True. Because the JavaScript in its essence, you only use a small fraction of it to do certain things. Right? But at the end of the day, what will even differentiate your app from another person's app is your layout, your UI design. How does it look? How easy is can somebody access your application? Those things. Those are basic things that will differentiate your application from another person. So if you're putting out content out there, don't just do something like this and then put it out there. No, it's not acceptable. Somebody will sit back and say, I'm sure I didn't teach you this one. Yeah. So go back, go fix it. Change this image. So the other thing we spoke about, use end chart, change the images to something else. At least let it look a little bit professional. Alright, let's just talk about this thing. So this whole overlay thing, right? This. Whatever you are going to do, right? I want to see at least one of the tutorial, whatever it is that they did in. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
One of the ways to do it.
Yes, I want to see one of the, how do you call it, effects that he did, right, in the tutorial on some of these buttons. You understand? See the one just see there, how do you call it? The button will scale up some of them too. I want to see some. So let's say section news, right? And then over like that. So let's do margin 0, margin are just basic cleanups you do. Like own the common sense. You don't have to also perform like that. And you just fix it and move on. But you don't do everything finished and you know where I should do. Alright. So what I want to do is do so relative. Alright. And look at overlay position one.
When the overlay to fill the
where how I coded the overlay, right? So it means I can reuse the overlay over and over again. What do I mean by that? Let's say section. Let's say Gala, right? You get it. So I can come in here and say gallery. Do the height of 60 page. Doesn't it? Not sure why. So let's use this margin button to bring this one. Bring this overlay class, another one. Yeah. You understand? So let us take out this one. Alright. And let us do this. Let's say yes, section. So let us do the layout that we claim to have done actually have problems with. Alright. So it is a let's say bbc.com. So it is a two column with nested one, how do you call it? Good, yeah. So what we can do is that, let's say one without main I do main rather. Then let's do nested. Alright. The nested has 4 columns, right? So it has 2, 3, 4. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it? Yes. Okay. So we have to just rearrange it so that we can see which one are siblings and which ones are children. You get it? So we have this as the main parent this one is a sibling to what? Nested. Alright? Okay, so let's save it. So how then do we achieve that? First we can say banner, let's give it a width of 100%, height, let's give it 70 ph, background then we say this one, 2 rem is too much. So then we say display what? Grid. We wanted to use flex. Grid template, columns, repeat what? 2, 1, F1. Like that. Nothing happens. Why? Okay, so we can take main and background of what blue, then we take nested background of what orange. You get it? Just write a media query purple. That's media max photo. Let's say 700 pixel. That'll be banner. And then background. Rather, let's do the body. Rather, let's do body. I want to see it happening with the body. Then we can say banner grid template columns repeats 1 1 like just that. Alright. For now, let us keep this one commented out to say we can work on this side of the grid. So the next step will be what? Display what? Grid. So grid template columns repeats what? And then let's bring the column and say background so you can give a grid gap here. Some pixel. You understand? So now this is the part where I wanted to talk about, where we have the overlay. Right. So then we can do overlay here. Right. Good. So if we come in here, we code the overlay separately. But if you check this one, you have to do some works on the main. What do we have to do here? Well, what I mean by that is we have to make some position what? Relative. Position relative. And then let's do let's come up here and say overlay, right? Position what? Up. So check this one, right? We can put the overlay to some here because we want to use that to cover the other images. But if you do this, it goes outside the whole page. So how do we fix it?
We put it inside the nested.
No. Make this one position. Because I had put what job is, you know, I put the overlay in this column, right? And I'm saying that it is position absolute. It is only in main that is relative that it has stayed here. But in this case, the column is still not a relative property declared. As it goes outside. Because I have more than one overlay. I have one which is in here, and it has been constrained by this position relative, right? And I have one here, which has not been constrained by any position relative. Do you understand? So it is this one that is coming out here. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if I say, watch this one, dot call dot overlay background blue. Alright. Alright, this one tends to go. Alright, so assuming that I make this one how do you call it? Relative, right? See, that blue is there. So let's just say I want to change that color so that you can see brown. Alright. See it?
Yeah.
Alright. So you have to make this one relative, so say in this, where is it? Where is it overlay? It is always position away. Absolutely. So then I can reuse the same overlay over and over again. Overlay covers that. Overlay covers that. Covers that. You understand?
Yeah.
Alright. So now my problem with you is with how. Let's take out where is it? Where's the wrong button? Where's that over? Yeah. So now the hour is black. But then this one, let's give it a grid gap of 10 pixels. The main. Yeah, this one. You understand? So the overlay is what we are coming to work on. What is it? So we say that if you go to W3 schools, I don't just do it for you to feel like, oh, no. I didn't do it because I know it. No, it was research. You understand?
Yes.
Alright. So when you come down, there's one that has. So mostly it is this one, right? Okay, so try it out. So it's something like this background color. This one, yeah. I forgot. So you copy this. Yeah. Right. So it's a linear degrading thing, whichever direction it goes. But realize that you can change the direction of where the red will start. It's red and yellow, right? Where the red will start and then the red will end. I think you have to do one from top or from left. I think they specify it here. Yeah, to right. Alright. When you do it this way, I think let's back it out instead. So to right corner. There's a reason why I'm doing all of this. So changes direction. Alright. So we can do to left, right, top, bottom, you get it. Right. So what we want is to have our background image a little bit visible, right? So if you check further, it has one that shows the degree, the alpha RGB, instead of using red, blue, green. It gives you one that gives you RGB using angles, right? With multiple steps, using transparency, good. So this is what we are talking about. Alright, so then an RGB values of that and that. You get it. So let us copy this one instead. Just copy and paste it. Yeah. Alright. Let's save it. Let's check our thing out. This is what we have. Jesus Christ. Okay, so what can we do? So we know that why is this thing black, gray, black, all like that? So we can see it is correct. We can see that it starts from 255, 2550, and then we have a 0 here. Alright. So okay, let's try it. 255, 255. Which one gives you black? Wait. I think it starts. So let's see how the black looks like. So RGB 255, 2550. Why does one show black and one show red? Huh. Still showing the from this class. Yeah. Oh, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. 50 Ghana. 50 Ghana. For me to, yeah. Mama, yeah, I didn't. Okay. Your hometown people. I don't want me to get to the thing now. Why is this? Yeah. So that's coming. Try this one out. This one. I forgot. It is saying black here, and this one is saying.
Because the background color will be
Oh yeah. 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 What is it? True. Where's the main color? This one. Yeah. Good. Then you have some green sound. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. This one is 0, this one is 0. 0.2. Yeah. So how come I don't have my overlay showing here?
showing the other thing.
So what?
That's what I'm saying.
There we go. see something?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say the main background image. Let's look for some image. Let's do place pixel. Let's see. This one. Should we download or should copy it? Yeah. So can you at least see the image? Yeah. So let us use the call. Where's the call? So you can further play around with the CSS, the alpha pattern. What is it? The overlay. Yeah. So let's darken it around 0.7. See, and then you have the two button here. Let's say you change the top. See what happens. You start from the top and bring it down. So let's put the button. Do you understand? Are you sure? So let us bring back media credit. Yeah. Let's do do you understand? Are you sure? Okay. Let's put down this one. So I want you to understand that it is not by magic that people get things to look the way that it does. They put in work and extra effort to get it done. Don't just go sit there, then just throw in the code in there because, well, that's what you want to do. No. Putting in extra effort for it to look nice. That is what will separate you from you as a developer from somebody else. Second, yeah. So go back, go fix it. I want, for me, like I said, explained earlier, what is it? This is the main user side. This one. Right. Especially the annoying thing most time to do is to work with text. But one thing that you have to keep at the back of your mind is that when it is medium, small scale, the font size readable is 1 rem, right? If it is a title, you do 1.2 or 1.3 rem, right? Usually, when you get to that point, always like whatever it is, reduce it to 1 rem. But look at how it looks like on your device before you settle for around 1 rem or 1.2. But the readable one on mobile devices is 1 rem. It took me a while for me to wrap my mind around how to work with fonts with how do you call it, responsive design. So you just take your time and go through it. And then on top of that, if you look at this, I'll bring this one here small. You get it? Small, so see there'll be some space. Usually target something like 10% margin and padding around text. Right? 10%, this is not close to 10%. Like 10% could be somewhere like here. Right? So you keep your text around somewhere there. Let's say you use that. Alright, but we use a font one. And then this one, which is too small. You can't really see the images. Forget about how it looks like with their main website. Forget that. Right? But we are talking about you here. We are only borrowing your layout to do what we want. Okay. Good. So my name, like I explained this one. Right. Not the best, but let us say 150. What you are saying? So if I do 150 VH, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Yes, from the top to the end of the screen. From where it starts to the bottom of the screen should be 150.
And so 150, how does it calculate it? Because 100% is the full screen. So 150 could be what? No, 150 VH. Because if I'm saying 100 VH is the full screen, like from here to here, then what do I mean by 150?
It means 150%.
Right. So, but the whole point of it is that at the end of the day, it should be a little bit readable. And the point I always try to say is that you've downloaded the image on the person's computer anyway. Let us try and look at how we can move our devices. I didn't put it in a container for. Try responsive ones. Which one is this? Which one is iPhone X? Alright. My opinion, not the best. Alright. So if I see something like this, I'll make it one color. That's right. You are trying to do it. Alright. So I don't have the mental strength to go through it right now. But assuming I should see something like this, I'll probably do it one color because it doesn't look too nice if it is this way and that way. But assuming one color looks nice. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be it for today. And then I want you to revise the how do you call it? The object that we spoke about.